I'm Chronix from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for May 28th, 2021, back at the Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. But this time, the first time in over a year, we got fans back in the arena. And yeah, we've had fans in the past, but I mean, they got fans all over this building. They got fans even ringside. I was surprised. They got fans in places that they normally don't even have places. Only one entrance ramp where they normally have two. Man, they was packing them fans up in there. But Double or Nothing, it's coming up this Sunday. This is the go home show for Double or Nothing. Here in Jacksonville, Florida, we got JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur all on commentary. It's Memorial Day weekend, starting it off right now. And they're going to start it off with their opening match. Darby Allin, former TNT champion. He's got Sting on his side, though. He hasn't lost that. He's taking on Cesar Bononi. He's got Cesar Bononi. He's got some friends with him. He's got Nick Nemeth. He's got Peter Avalon and some other guy. I'm not exactly sure what the name of their little group is. It may not be that important. Cesar, dude, this guy, he's going to need a little bit more time in the ring, but maybe not on Dynamite. I don't know, man. But he was looking a little clunky in there. But it was short. Coffin drop, Darby Allin gets the victory here. And after the match, Darby Allin calls out Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. He wants to fight. He wants to do it tonight. Look, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, they threw this man Darby Allin downstairs. They could have incapacitated him. He could have missed the pay-per-view. That's no good. He's ready to fight. He's ready to do it now. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, they do walk out. They have a microphone in hand, but Scorpio says he's not going to wrestle for free. No, he's not going to do this. He's got his fancy shirt on. Both of these guys, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, they got their nice button-ups on, right? I mean, or at least most of them were buttoned. Yeah, you got Scorpio Sky saying that he's going to retire Sting and become the legend. He's essentially going to replace Sting as in this legendary spot. So, yeah, that's some high expectations that he has for sure. Now the wingmen back over here, they attack Sting and Darby Allin. This is not good. And Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, they do take over for a brief moment. But yeah, you got a Dark Order coming down to save before Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky can break Sting's ankle. You don't want that to happen. You don't want Sting to take a huge injury like this. Look, Sting is going to be back in the ring at Double or Nothing. He's going to be with Darby Allin. This is going to be Sting's first appearance in front of fans, wrestling in front of fans. And what was it, 6 years? It has been a hot minute, and I know that the fans are going to be hot and ready for it. It looked like it was hot in Jacksonville. People were sweating, or at least Paul White was in this next segment coming up here. Yeah, Paul White, what is he doing? What is he doing here? He's normally on Dark Elevation commentating, but he's over here, bald head and all, sweating. He's going to be doing the introduction for the weigh-in. Why is AEW so keen on doing these weigh-ins? I'm not really sure. What is the point? When in AEW has weights really meant anything? I mean, we just seen Darby Allin. Does his weight ever matter? I don't think that it does. That's like kind of goes against what AEW is about and what they preach. But it's the weigh-in for Cody and Anthony Ogogo. They have made this a UK versus US thing. Like the two entities that literally no one in 2021 is ramped up about, the division between the United States and the UK. Manufactured feud, if anything. But yeah, they're going to do this. And if anybody knows anything about weight, it's Paul White, the Big Show. We have two flags hanging over the section of the fans, like two ginormous American flag. You got the UK, the Union flag, and it's covering up the view for very many fans up in this section. And I'm like, that sucks. I'd hate to be there. You can't even see what's going on. And plus the Titantron is behind them. So they're looking through a flag. So hopefully they were able to see through it. Yeah, Anthony Ogogo, he's got the factory, and you have the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, who's just going to be the American Dream tonight and at the pay-per-view because reasons. He's an American. He said in this video package that he's very patriotic and he's an American. He's not going to feel bad about being proud to be an American. So the patriotic Cody Rhodes, the embodiment of patriotism and waving that American flag, Cody Rhodes. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes has his students. Of course, you got QT Marshall and the factory and all those dudes. So cool. We have an enormous amount of bodies for no reason. I guess at the pay-per-view, they're going to do some kind of brawl or something, between the two students. I hope not, because Cody's students up on the stage, they were looking pretty awkward. They were like, I don't know where to put my hands. I'll just stand here. And yeah, it was just a lot of bodies for really no reason. So you can hear off in the background during this segment, fireworks going off like crazy, to the point where the wrestlers in the ring were like, you hear all those fireworks? They were really, really paying attention to it. I don't know if they knew when they were cutting these promos, like how much was being picked up on the microphone. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Like, it was audible. You could hear it, but, watching at home, we couldn't see it. And, it wasn't that distracting is all I'm going to say. Like, yeah, if you brought attention to it, you would know. But there was a point where I was like, I wasn't really sure if it was just wind noise. I could have credited it to a million different things. But, once they're like, there's fireworks, it's like, okay, I get it. We don't get to see the fireworks, but they're there. Now, Cody, he's got to do his way in, so he naturally takes off his hoodie. Was he wearing? It's like a zip up thing. He takes his pants off, so he's in his underwear, his Calvin Kleins. Unnecessary, I thought, but he could have just wore his wrestling gear, right? But no, he didn't do that. He gets on the scale and he weighs in at 218 pounds. And Ogogo, yeah, he takes his pants off and he's wearing the UK flag, and the people start chanting Austin Powers, which was just hilarious. It made me laugh. It's funny. Austin Powers is like one of those things that people still remember that movie very fondly. And it's like, what is that movie, like 21 years old? But it's still good. I actually seen it like not too long ago, and it's still a really good parody of old spy movies and whatnot. So it holds up to the point where you see somebody in UK underwear and you just automatically think of the movie. So that's pretty funny. So Cody, he weighed in at 218 pounds. Anthony Ogogo gets on the scales and weighs in at 219. So he weighs 1 pound more. So what does this mean for us at home? The wrestling fans, are we supposed to believe that, well, they weigh the same, essentially? So, I mean, 1 pound? Like, you can fluctuate 5 pounds in a day, just water weight, whatever. Like, you got to pee, whatever the case, man, you might lose a pound is all I'm saying. Couple pints over here. Look, Paul, he repeats the weights as he's just sweating profusely. QT Marshall interrupts, and he hits us with this jewel of information, letting us know that 1 pound of difference is going to give an advantage to Anthony Ogogo. And then Dustin Rhodes, and before I get to Dustin Rhodes, like, just think about that. QT Marshall got on the microphone and spent time to let us know how much of an advantage 1 pound is. Like, did he even believe that? Did anyone in the crowd believe what he was saying? Like, it wasn't even like a real threat. It's almost comical. Like, you do this entire weigh-in, and then it's like, well, they're 1 pound difference. Oh, by the way, 1 pound really makes a big difference. I mean, just the weight in the ring gear that they're wearing probably won't make that much of a difference. So, Yeah, that's completely wild to me that they would do this. So now Dustin, he scares off the factory. We didn't really get to see what he did. He like did like this or something, and they all ran away. And then Cody gives it up to Paul. Segment over. What an awkward ending. People are just kind of standing around. There was no brawl. I'm not saying that they should have done a brawl, but the way it ended, I mean, weird, awkward. And what was the point of it? Just to be like, well, there's 1 pound difference. So there's that. So I hope you're ready for this match with Cody and Anthony Ogogo after all the craziness, the fighting on the bus and whatever. Oh my goodness. That's what they leave you with. That is what we have come down to. The 1 pound difference. My goodness. It's going to be a crazy match now. So we get a video package on the Stadium Stampede. That's one of the huge matches, you know, the big blow off between the inner circle and Pinnacle. So we'll get to that. There's going to be a celebration as the main event. So, you know, if we're going to do a segment for a main event, oh, it's got to be spectacular, right? Well, backstage, we see Powerhouse Hobbs having an impromptu hardcore match with Christian. They're just fighting, and then wrestlers, they show up, referees, it takes them all to break up the fight. So, yeah, trying to attack Christian before the pay-per-view, that's just rude. That's just wrong. My man, you cannot do this. Now, Christian did hit a spear onto some boxes, so I don't know if that was like a little homage to Edge or what, but maybe it was just a tactic he had there in that little skirmish they get. Now, Taz is on commentary. Why is he on commentary? It's Adam Page versus Joey Janella. Now, Joey Janela's got Sonny Kiss with him. They're still a tag team, I guess. They're still together. And Taz, he's on commentary. Well, he's scouting purposes. I mean, who is he scouting? I mean, probably not Joey Janela, right? He's keeping an eye on Adam Page. That is the important part here. And yeah, this whole entire match is just for Adam Page to hit the buckshot lariat on somebody and beat him. He does hit the fall away slam on the floor on Joey Janela, and that looked like it hurt. And yeah, a big elbow drop from Joey Janela here in this match. And Adam Page, somehow or another, he gets busted open. I don't know how that happened, but he's bleeding, and he's bleeding big time. But he still, even with the blood going into his eyes, hits the buckshot lariat for the win. You know, the amount of times that people bleed on AEW, it's almost preposterous. I know a lot of them are, you know, intentional, but there's enough of them, like including this one, that was unintentional and accidental. How does that happen so often? I'm just suspicious. It's kind of strange. So, buckshot lariat for the win for Adam Page. No surprise there. Taz gets on the microphone and introduces Brian Cage. Brian, he starts walking down, and Adam gets on the microphone and says, look, it's the same thing every week. Taz is on the microphone. Then Team Taz, they come and they attack. They attack from behind. They do all of this. And yeah, he asked, or let's see, Adam Page, he asked Brian Cage if he's got enough balls to take him on. Adam Page by himself. So yeah, this Sunday, Brian Cage, Adam Page, yeah, it's going to be coming right at you. Now, we have a pre-recorded segment in the back. It's Eddie Kingston and Moxley. They start cutting a promo about the Young Bucks shoes that they stole. We didn't see the Young Bucks at all on this episode, I don't believe. So presumably they haven't gotten new shoes or socks. That's what I'm guessing. And yeah, so they got the shoes, the Nikes, their kicks. They are in some dirt. They are in some mud. I suppose that those are expensive shoes. I know shoes can get very expensive. I don't think I would ever spend like very much on shoes. Definitely not more than probably $100. Yeah, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on some shoes. It's just not going to happen. I don't think so. No way. Because what would happen is I would instantaneously get them scuffed up. And then I'd be very angry. And I'd be like, why? Why did I do this? just scuffed, man. I don't want that. I don't want my shoes to end up in some mud because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna step outside and it's gonna be like boom, sink down in some mud, and I'm just be angry. And I don't want this. So as they're trying to cut this promo, they AEW, the network, I don't know, they go to commercial break in the middle of the segment, in the middle of the promo, and they literally get interrupted by John Cena. That's no meme, that's no lie. John Cena was on the commercial. So that was interesting. That was funny. I never thought that would happen, but it did. And back from the break, and I guess they start replaying the promo. I don't know. Maybe it was live and they just kept talking. But yeah. So that kind of ruined that segment a little bit, don't you think? It ruined it almost as much as the Young Bucks shoes. Now, Tony Schiavone, he's in the ring. He's going to interview Orange Cassidy. But Pac, he comes down and he comes down and kicks Tony out of there. Not like literally kicks him out, but he skedaddles him on out, right? This Sunday, Orange Cassidy, he says, is going to be irrelevant. He's calling out Omega. Callis appears on the Titantron because, he's not going to come out there. He's not there. But Kenny Omega attacks. He runs in from behind, and they start fighting. But Pac, he just stomps him. The Good Brothers come to save Kenny Omega. They overpower Pac, and then the Lucha Bros come down, chase off the Good Brothers. My goodness, it's just pandemonium out here. Omega, he's going to go for the one-winged angel, but does not happen as Orange Cassidy and his friends appear with the music and all. Cassidy, he's got a contract in his hand, that contract from last week, that if he signs it, he can get out of the match with Omega and Pac, and he can cash it in at a later time. Wink, probably not. Omega opens up this letter, and it's just ripped up pieces of paper. And not good. He doesn't like this. He's like, what? I cannot believe this. Orange Punch, and Omega's little hat flies off, which actually was a hat that the Good Brothers were wearing, and then he put it on, presumably just so he could get it knocked off of his head, right? And Orange picks up that AEW championship, or he tries to, but Pac, he stops him. He's like, no, sir, this is not for you. This is for me. Orange Punch to Pac. And the glasses go on. The fans chant freshly squeezed, and Orange Cassidy picks up the AEW championship for a visual I didn't think I was ever going to see. Now, of course, Orange Cassidy is not the AEW champion. I can't imagine that he would win at this pay-per-view. I really can't see it happening ever. But the fans did respond. The fans were very excited. Could this be a situation where, down the line, this presumably unimaginable thing actually does happen? Who knows? Anything could happen in AEW, right? But he picks up the championship, and he looks very excited. Even for Orange Cassidy, deep down inside, he was like, "Ooh, this is nice." And it's going to be a big, big deal for him. He's going to be in a huge match at the pay-per-view, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Omega is going to retain the title. So at the pay-per-view. So now we have Jade Cargill. She's got a pre-recorded interview with Tony Schiavone because that's how we do it. We don't put a live mic on this lady, not yet. And Matt Hardy instantaneously interrupts this. You see, people have been trying to get Jade, manage her or whatever. So Matt Hardy interrupts. He wants to do this. It's like, come on. Jade should just be like, oh no, Matt Hardy. Of course, I do not want to have you, of all people, representing me. That's just me. But before Jade can get a sentence out, she's already actually selected somebody. She's going to go with that dude, Mark Sterling. So why Mark Sterling? I guess they had to give him something to do. Is he going to talk for her? I don't even understand, why. I can't see why they would go together. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I guess they have to have somebody with her. I don't know. Honestly, the short matches by herself, I thought that was fine, but apparently AEW thinks that she needs a little more presentation. Who knows? Is her gear not shiny enough? Does it not have enough reflective diamonds on it? I don't know, but Matt Hardy was mad and he left. Not all the Matt Hardy money in the world could save him. It's just not going to happen. We got Jade Cargill with Mark Sterling, who, by the way, is only going to get paid when Jade Cargill wins. So he's going to get paid every time, at least for a long while. He's taking on Kylie King, and Jade, she dominates at a slow pace. This is what we would expect. But during the break, Kylie actually starts fighting back for just a moment in the picture-in-picture. But back from the break, and Jade Cargill hits the victory. So, yeah, no surprise. Now, the Murder Hawk cuts a quick promo about the TNT Championship. And we got a TNT Championship match right now. It's Dante Martin. He's challenging Miro, who's a TNT champion. Miro stomps Dante. Of course he does. Gets that overhead belly-to-belly suplex, which I always pop for. They get that little camel clutch, and Dante taps. Miro wins, and he won't let go. I mean, he's like breaking this dude in half. Like he's the Iron Sheik, right? Crazy. Lance Archer, he paces on the stage, and Jake cuts a promo saying that he's had enough. And Miro says that Miro's trying to talk, but his microphone's not working at first, so it sucks for him. He calls Jake Roberts an old fart, which is always a great insult for your elderly folks. And Miro invites Lance to the ring, and Miro, he almost takes a choke slam. They fight a little bit back and forth, and Miro eats a big boot, and the refs hold Miro back. They're ready to fight. I'm ready for that match. It's going to be a nice little match, quite honestly. I like Lance Archer. I like what he's doing. But what a lot of people like, what a certain person is doing is Shida, apparently, because she's had the championship, her women's championship, for 377 days. It's been a long reign. Spoiler alert. She's about to lose it. But before she does, Tony Schiavone, she's in the ring with the referee, and Shida, she's celebrating. This is like her big celebration, right? And Shida, she is presented the new, upgraded, different, wider, newer, diamond-encrusted AEW Women's Championship. And he puts it on her, and the referee's like, dude, it's not tight enough. And then the referee tries to help and then realizes that it's like on the tightest setting possible, and it's still sliding off of Shida. Now, granted, Shida was wearing like kind of a silky, like it looked like, something that would like stuff would slide off of, right? If she was wearing her gear, if she was wearing jeans, I don't think there would have been a problem, even though the belt was like as tight as possible. And I'm like, okay, Shida isn't the biggest lady in the world, but I mean, a lot of people in AEW, especially the ones that are going to win championships for the most part, are pretty skinny. So I'm like, how big is this belt? Like, did they literally get a new women's championship that's going to be too big? Like, I know that they made the gold plates a little bit bigger, but it's like maybe the length of the belt, maybe there's not enough snaps. I don't know what's going on here. But I'm thinking the entire reason that they got this new championship, the new women's championship with the wider little main plate, is literally so when Britt Baker wins it, it'll look better on her. I am convinced Britt Baker is going to win this championship at the pay-per-view. I hope she does. Fingers crossed. I think it's time. I think it's time for it to happen. No hate on Shida, no shade to throw at her, but man, Britt Baker, by the way, interrupts on the stage. No Rebel with her this time. She's not coming down to fight. She congratulates, but a double or nothing. It's going to be a new era. And there once was the 316 era, and now the era will be DMD. So it's not even about the women. It's a whole new era. So that's a big, big claim to go from 316 era to DMD. We see Sammy Guevara. He's got signs that he shows to us during the break, and then he throws it out into the crowd. We get an Evil Uno and Stu Grayson taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. We get a heel hook from Scorpio Sky egos Edge, and Ethan Page wins. Ethan Page gets on the microphone. Sting's music plays, and a whole lot of Stings come out. But which one is the real Sting? We'll never find out. Oh, wait, it's really obvious because all of the Stings are young dudes from like the training schools and whatnot. And then you got the one like thinning hair, older, big guy. Yeah, that's the real Sting. Easy find, easy find. And yeah, so that happens. And hey, I'm excited to see Sting back in the ring. I'm ready for it to happen. Now, let's get to the main event. The main event is the Inner Circle's celebration, and it's hosted by none other than Eric Bischoff. Back on TNT once again. They have to remind us of WCW at every point, and the history, the lineage. I guess that helps their credibility because they're like, we're just a continuation of the wrestling that you used to have here a long time ago. It's like riding on that success in kind of a cheap way, but in a smart way. They introduce the Inner Circle, and yeah, they roll this video package about the Inner Circle's history. Jericho's happy. The fans chant Inner Circle. The boys, they say that it could be the last time in the ring. Sammy Guevara says that the fans were chanting for him. He was excited that this was happening. He says, thanks, in case we lose, thanks guys. Thanks for being there, helping him out. Even though he left, he came back. Jericho was hesitant about making a group, but he liked the way they looked in photos. So he was cool with it. And he says that he loves them. And then they all flip off the crowd. And I'm like, if they're not trying to telegraph, like it really seems like they're trying to telegraph that the Inner Circle is over, which I guess that's what it is. And everybody's going to kind of go do their own things, which I think they should do. And not only because I'm extremely tired of seeing them sing Chris Jericho songs. Look, Chris Jericho's even got a new song. So hopefully they'll break it up and then Jericho can have his new song as his theme song and we can move on. And the fans can chant that other song because they just love Jericho so much, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Double or Nothing is coming up this Sunday. MJF, he shows up on the screen and he is in the stadium fake crying. He's like, oh, so sentimental and all this. MJF and Wardlow, they're standing there and they pan out a little bit and we see Dean Malenko. He's all beat up. He's got his shirt ripped up and everything. And Inner Circle is like, oh no, we cannot have this. And they sprint down there. I mean, Jericho, he's like way behind. He's like, oh God, he's blown up. But Sammy Guevara, he's just running. And the Inner Circle boys are running. Jericho is, come on, his arm is a little hurt. So he's got to gingerly walk, right? He's way behind. But luckily for Jericho, Pinnacle, they intercept and they start fighting. A little bit of a preview before the PPV, and FTR, they pile drive Proud and Powerful through two separate tables, which looked brutal. I was like, when they were setting it up, I was like, man, I hope those guys are okay. We'll find out at Double or Nothing if they show up, right? But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite. Of course, they gotta end it with a big brawl like this. This was the go home show. It was all right. Wasn't the best show. Wasn't the best go home show. But they did it on a Friday for whatever reason. It'll be quicker, or it'll be closer rather to the pay-per-view. So we'll see how big of a difference this makes for the actual pay-per-view. Will they get more people buying it? They'll definitely have more people in the arena. They've had ticket sales for this show on Friday. And then on Saturday, they have like a fan event. The AEW action figures, they're going to announce some new action figures tomorrow or Saturday at 11 Central. So I'll be excited for that. I'm sure I'll be retweeting it. And you could check out those retweets at on Twitter at MXW Chronics. I got my links in the description. I posted a new episode of our animated wrestling show, the YWF Mayhem. Posted that yesterday, so check it out. That link is in the very top of the description. So, you can just click on it, man. It's right there. So yeah, the other links can be facebook.com. You can check that out. Facebook.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation. You can check out the rest of the episodes of YWF at youtube.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation. And you can check out my Twitch. I got a Twitch. I sure do. It's twitch.tv/donut_space. All of those links, they're all in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I will catch you next time. Actually, one last thing. The pay-per-view, it is Memorial Day weekend, and I have a lot of things going on as far as enjoying that holiday. So I may not actually be seeing the pay-per-view live, so I'm going to try to avoid spoilers the best that I can. But I will be doing a review, although it may not be directly after the pay-per-view. So it will be coming at some point. But I will catch you guys next time. Hey, be safe and catch you later.